rock stars, I lovers of fashion. On today's episode, we'll be having a lovely moment together. Are you having some challenges or difficulties on how to cut and sew? Then I'll tell you you are on the right channel. Just get your tools together and let's get into practical. Let's start the measurement by taking it from the shoulder line downward, which I'll be taking the bust point line, then the on the bust line, then the waist line, and now the hip line. When I'm done doing that, I'll rule each line this the way you see me doing, just to get the straight line. For then I'll label each line the way you see me doing. I'm just trying to label it so you won't get confused when we are drafting, when we continue on the drafting. When I'm done doing that, I'll come to the shoulder line. I'll be taking the shoulder measurements right now divided by 2, which I'll be marking this way. Then from that mark area, I'll come downward to take my chest line measurements, which I'll be marking. Then I'll take my ruler and just rule it out and also label that. Hope you understand. Then when I'm done doing that, I'll come to the shoulder and come downward again by 1 inch. That will be the shoulder slope. Then from there, I'll be taking that same shoulder divided by 2 that is upward. That I marked upward. I'll come to the chest line and do the same thing. The same shoulder divided by 2, and I'll connect both together the way you see me doing. So when I'm done doing that, when I'm done connecting it this way, I'll come to the neckline and take 3 inches for the wideness and for the length 3 inches. And I'll connect it with my cuff ruler this way. When I'm done doing that, I'll come to this 1 inch that I came down inward. You remember I came down by 1 inch. I'll connect it to the neckline on a slant this way. Then from here down here, I'll take the measurement and divide whatever I get there by 2, and I'll mark it. Then I'll come to the chest line, divide my bust circumference into 4 and mark it. We are just trying to create the armhole there. So, but before doing that, I'll come to this midpoint here, the midpoint, and go inward by ½ inch. Now I can connect it together. I'll connect it to the midpoint with my cuff ruler as well, the way you see me doing. Now we get our armhole, and please don't forget that midpoint. So right now I'll go to my to my bust point line, and I'll divide my nipple to nipple into 2, which mine is 8 for this project, and that will give me 4. I mark it. But for the when I mark 4 there at the bust point, at the under bust, I'll be deducting ½ inch from that 4, and I'll mark it. The same goes to the waistline and the hip line. It will be 3½ instead of 4. Then from the under bust down to that hip line, I'll rule it this way. Then I'll take my ruler again and connect it to that 4 that I marked. Then from the under bust line, I'll be taking 2½ inch outward this way. You understand? Outward this way. Why? Because we are trying to create the dart for this project. I'll do that from the under bust down to the hip line area, and I'll take my ruler and connect on a straight line. Then from that under bust, I'll connect it to that 4 inches that I slanted. I'll connect it that 4 inches at the bust point line this way. Then from here, I'll be connecting it to that midpoint, which I've done already right now. I connect it on with my straight ruler. Then from that midpoint again, I'll come downward by 2 inches. 2 inches. Then that's the 2 inches. Then from there, I'll connect it back to that bust point area. Now we're having two mark there, 2 arrow there, which will stand like the dart there at the upper side there. So to create if we should leave this part this way, by the time we are joining it, it will deduct, it will not be equal. So we need to create an armhole for this side, the side of this princess, that this posture. So, and because this side is going out, so all we just do is go to this part and take measurement of 2 inches and connect it upward. That is, I'm taking 2 inches upward, and I connected it. So right now I'll be creating the armhole for this side. This armhole is for this side. This is the armhole for the upper side. So for the down part here, I'll be creating another armhole instead of this first armhole. I'll be creating it like this. So let me just show you, you will understand. I'll create it this way, at the chest line area. I'll connect this part, these 2 inches that I went upward, I'll connect it to the chest part, to the chest line this way. You can see, so this part is going, we'll be cutting out, we don't need this part, excuse me, but you will understand. So at this chest line, I'll be taking, I mean the bust point line, I'll be taking my bust circumference divided by 4 also, and the part, this area, whatever that I took there that is taken away from there, I'll replace it here the way you see me doing right now. Then I'll add my seam allowance, that is the sewing allowance. Hope you understand. This part that I wrong, that you see me wrong, all this part that I wrong will be cut out later, but just watch. Then I'll come to my bust point line 2 and do the same thing that I marked at the chest line. That is the bust circumference divided by 2. I marked it, and other seam allowance and the darts. So I'll come to the under bust line 2 and mark the on the bust circumference divided by 4. I marked whatever that was taken out there, that I took out, I mark it, and I add seam allowance. But I forgot to add the seam allowance to the under bust, but I'm coming back to that. So I went to the hip line 2 and do the same thing. I marked my hip circumference divided by 4, marked the that area that I wrong, that part, whatever I took there, which was 2.5, I replace it. Just replace each, whatever you took out for your darts. Then now I'm coming back to my under bust. You remember I said I forgot to add the seam allowance, the sewing allowance. This is what I'm doing there right now. I'm taking my ruler to connect from the chest line to the under bust. Then I'll take my cuff ruler from the under bust, I'll connect it to the hip line this way. I hope you understand. When I'm done doing that, now we want to create that effect, that style, that this particular design. For the down, it will come down a little bit. It's a little bit curve at the down, and at the side, it's more than the hip. Like the measurement is more than the hip. It's wider than the hip. So at the side, I'll be going at the hip line. I'll be going outward at the side by 1.5 inches, 1.5 inch, and I'll mark it 1.5 inches. I'll mark it and I'll connect it to the waistline, not to the on the bust line. I'll connect it to the when I go outward by 1.5 inch that you're seeing there. Look at it. I'll be connecting it to the waistline. Do you understand? Just see what I'm doing. Look at it. I'll be connecting it now to the waistline this way with my cuff ruler. So when I'm done doing that, I'll go upward again from that hip line. I'll go upward by 1.5 inch, and I'll come to this side. When I go upward 1.5 inch at the side, I'll mark it. Then I'll come to this side, the middle side of my blouse, and go downward by 1.5 inch and take my cuff ruler and connect it this way. I hope you understand. I just connect it. The 1.5 at the side that I went upward, and the one I went downward, I connected it together. That's just it, with the cuff ruler. So back to the shoulder area, I'll be extending this slope this way, the way you see me doing. Just extend it. Then I'll be going out at this shoulder line. I'll be going out by 0.25. Then I'll be coming inward by 0.5 inch. Hope you understand. Then at that 0.5 inch, I'll be going inward by 0.5 inch this way. At that 0.5 inch line that I marked up, so I'll go upward by 2 inch. Then after going upward by 2 inches, at that 2 inches that I marked, I'll go outward. I'll go inward uh, by 1 inch. Then I'll come to this part from the neck line that was 3 inches length. I'll go upward by 2 inches rather, sorry. So at this shoulder part again, at this shoulder line, I'll go inward by 1 inch at this area, the way you see me. Just watch what I'm doing. So I'll connect it from here together. From this 1 inch that I went upward, I'll connect it to that 1 inch that I went inward. So from that 1 inch also, I'll connect it back to the 0.25 this way. I hope you understand. When you follow the video, you will understand what I'm doing, even without this explanation. So right now I'm just trying to get the how the neckline will be open, how open the neckline will be. You can do your 7.5 inch or 7 inch as you wish. But I think I did 7.5 before and I reduce it to 7 inch. When you mark it down there, then you connect from up here down to your marked area. I'm just trying to blend that side anyway. So when I'm done doing that, I'll come down to this part, the hip line, the down where we make that, where we create that effect, that cuff. This tie is just cuff at the down. So all I'm just trying to do right now. Um, you remember the 3.5 inches we did from the waistline, hip line, on the bust, and all of that is what I'm just trying to extend. Do you understand? From the waistline that we did, the waistline we did 3.5 inward instead of 4. You understand? And we came out again by 2.5 inch. So I'm just extending this line. So just because we will be cutting that part. So I extended my line here because this part will be going away when we are cutting. So just we are done with that. We are done with the front pattern. I'm just cutting it out. Please watch the way I'm cutting this pattern so you will not cut the wrong side. So I'm cutting it out now. Just watch the way I'm cutting it. Then you will get how to cut yours too. Just follow the process, then you will get it. So I'm marking this side. So anyway, before you start your pattern, before you start taking the measurement or anything, make sure your fabric or your pattern is on, especially, of course, you use pattern, you use your paper or whatever, make sure it's on fold, and likewise your fabric on fold. So that's why I mark this side that it will be on fold, and this will later be in pieces, this side. This place I wrote SP, it will be in pieces by the time you finish cutting. But by the time you are done cutting, this side will be on fold, this side will be on pieces. So let's finish the cutting. So just watch and see the way I'm cutting it and follow it. When you follow it, you surely get the right thing. So when this part, you need to cuff your hand this way, then you cut it out. When you're done cutting it out this way, we are done cutting the side of this front pattern out. Then I'm trying to cut the dart out. I told you both dart will be going. So we are not using this dart, so we'll be cutting it out. I'm coming to the neck also. This will be our normal neck now, not the first neckline we cut. And this will be our shoulder line, shoulders shape. So I cut it out already and we are done with the front pattern. Now let's go to the back pattern. From the shoulder, we will be taking the bust point, and we'll be taking the waistline and the hip line. At the back pattern, we will not need to take the under bust line because we don't have bust at the back, of course. So we don't really need the under bust. So at the shoulder, I'll be taking, let me take it again. I'll be taking from the shoulder, I'll be taking the bust point line, the waistline, and the hip line. Bust point line, the waistline, and the hip line. When you are done taking those lines, just rule them the way we did for the front pattern to this way. When I'm done doing that, I'll come to this side and take my zip allowance, that is zipper area where the zip will be. For me, I'm using 2 inches for this project. You can use 1.5 anyways for this, for yours, it's fine. Then from there, I'll be taking my shoulder divided by 2, which I'm marking right now. From that line, that zipper line, from the zipper line I wrote for the zip, and I'm just labeling each. Then from there, I'll be taking 1 inch for my shoulder slope, that's for the slants. You remember, then I'll connect from there downward. I'm not supposed to connect it to this bust point, but never mind, it's still the same. You understand? It's still the same. But never mind. If you have to do yours, you don't have to connect it straight down to this bust point. But it's still fine. You can just follow the way I'm doing it. So I'll come to the neckline. I'll take 3 inches for our for the wideness, the way we did for the front. And for the length, it will be 1 inch for now. It will be 1 inch. And I'll just take my cuff ruler and connect it together this way. But mind you, we are using zipper, right? So I'm just trying to extend the cuff, the neckline to the zipper area by coming down by 1 inch. So from there, I just connect to the 1 inch slope. Then right now, I'm taking the measurement of my chest line, the way you see me doing. I'm taking the chest line from the shoulder line. Then I'll roll it this way. I'll roll it this way to get my chest line. And I'll also get the midpoint of this line. You remember for the front, we try to get the midpoint that will create the armhole. Forget this side. I told you it doesn't have to get to the bust point. So right now, I try to label each chest line. So from that chest line, right now, I'll be taking my bust divided by 4, bust circumference divided by 4, which I'll mark, and I'll connect it to the midpoint of that armhole, and I'll connect it together with my cuff ruler, which I just did now. So right now from the chest line, I'm taking 4 inches, which is the nipple to nipple measurement, and I'm doing that to the hip line. We don't have to deduct half inch this time, because we are doing the back pattern. So when you connect, you rule it straight. Then you come to the waistline this way. I'll be taking the dart. The dart is quite different. It's just the normal dart. I'll be taking outward, half inch outward, and half inch inward. Just the normal dart for normal blouse, just for the way we always create our dart for the normal blouse. Then I'll connect it downward this way, and I'll connect it upward also on both line, on both half inch. I took half inch there. So just see the way I'm doing, connecting it to the hip line and also to the chest line this way. Then you can see the way I'm doing it. Then if you wish you want a kind of princess dart too on this back pattern, you want the back pattern of yours to have a kind of princess dart, princess shape. You can see I'm just trying to let you know that's the zipper area. Then from this waistline at the zipper area, I'll be taking half inch at the waistline. You can see this half inch. Then I'll connect it down to the hip line. I'll also connect it to the chest line. Why are we doing this? This is really needed to all. I can see many all blouse, because it will not be folding at the back. So right now, I'm just taking my bust circumference as well, divided by 4, and I'm marking it, and I'm checking the dart, whatever darts that I took from that line, I'll be replacing it and add seam allowance, and I'm doing the same thing to the chest line. The measurement for the that I did at the bust point line is what I did at the chest line. So whatever, I'll come to the waistline as well. I'll take the waist circumference divided by 4. I'll mark it, and the darts, whatever you take, you have to take the measurement of the dart intake there. Yeah, whatever that is there too, you replace it. Please, whatever you use for your darts, always replace it. Then after the replacement, I'll be adding my seam allowance. Yeah, I'm using 2 inches for my seam allowance, all through both for the front and the back. But you don't have to use 2.5. You can use 1.5 or more. So right here at the hip line, I'm taking my hip circumference divided by 4. No darts here, I didn't take any dart. There's no any dart intake here. So I'll just take the hip circumference divided by 4, and I will add my seam allowance and just connect to this side, and just the way we did to the front. I use my cuff from the waistline to connect to the hip line. Now we are creating the same effect, the same if okay, let's come to this up first. You remember I said if you want it to be princess dart, your back pattern. If you want, if you don't want it, you can just leave it this way. But because I want the princess that infects at the back too, just connect it from this midpoint of this armhole, this midpoint, connect it to this place, to this dart, that is to this chest line dart. Connect it this way. Just connect it that way. I hope you understand the way I'm doing with my ruler. Now I connect it and we are done with that. Now let's come down to this part where we want to create the effect to the how the side is a little bit wider than the hip measurement. So you just take the same way we did to the front. Take, you can see I'm taking outward, 1.5 outward, and I'll connect it to the waistline. It's just the same thing to the front, as I said. So you use your cuff ruler to connect it to the waistline. Now, to get the cuff at the down of this particular design, you come, but before then, okay, you come upward at that side by 1.5. Then you come to the middle side of your blouse, you go downward by 1.5, and you use your hip cuff ruler to cuff it this way. Then we are done at this down part. Now let's come to this upper upper side of our. I'm just doing the same process, but a little bit different here. You extend your shoulder slope, your slant, then you go by 0.25 out, 0.5 inward. Then from that 0.5, you go upward by 2 inches here. You understand? Then you connect it to that 0.25. Then you, instead of going outward by going outward by 1 inch, you just give it a straight line this way. That's all. You roll it. Right here, what I'm just doing is just to extend my zipper area upward. So I took measurement of the same zipper area, 2 inches inward, then I connected it together just to extend it upward, So just the zipper area, nothing serious there. So at this part, I'll be going, at this part, this is, we will not be using this neckline again. We'll be using this. So at this part, I'll be going downward. Excuse me, we are, forget about this neckline that we draft before for the back too as well. We'll be using this part. So I'll be going downward by 0.5 inch. That is half inch, and I'll just shape that area. So let's do that right now. Let me do that right now. Hold on. So I'll just take half inch. Like I said, I'll take half inch inward. Just look what I'm trying to do here. Then you will understand. Just let's take half inch downward. That is from this straight line up here. We'll be taking half inch, and make sure your measurement is getting to your zipper area. So I'll be taking half inch this way, and I'll just cuff it from that, that 2 inches that I went upward, these 2 inches that I went upward from, I'll just cuff it this way with my cuff ruler, and I'll just shape that area. That's all. We are done. So we are just trying to extend this zipper line here down to the effect that we create at the down part of our blouse. I'm just trying to, the way we did to the front, I'm just trying to extend that line, this line, just trying to extend it down, and also extend the dart down. You don't have to do anything to the dart. All you just need to do is the same 4 inches that you took at each line. When you want to start drafting your dart, you just take it downward too, not to give you a headache. Just take it and just connect it down. You are just extending your dart too. You've extended your dart that way, and we are good to go. You can, I always tell you, this fashion, it is no magic. So it's so easy. So just cut it the way you see me doing. Just cut it this way, but please watch the way I'm cutting so you won't cut the wrong parts. So, and this dart will be going out. We'll be cutting unit away. You remember we've replaced each that. We are not owing any that anything, any mark. So now I cut it out. Now I'm cutting the dart out of it. Out of it. We make them no see, make them no meet again, except if we want to match both pattern together. So right now I'll be cutting the neck. You can see this is the neck I'll be cutting, and the shoulder, the new shoulder slope, this place. This will be for the joining of the front, the built up collar. So this is what you should get, but we are not done yet. Just remember these are the four pieces. So right now I'm just trying to, when you're done, just take the side pattern of your front and side pattern of your back. Take the measurements all round the way you see me doing, because both the front and the back has to be equal. Yeah, it has to be equal. But when it's not equal, don't panic. Don't panic. All you just do is, example is this pattern right now. Both are not equal. One is 7.5 inches and one is 8.5 inches. No problem. When there is God, you just deduct 1 inch at this side this way. It's simple. It won't affect it, because some people ask me if it will affect. No, it won't, because when you mark that one, like me, I need to deduct 1 inch. I mark it, then you just cut from here to that place with your cuff ruler. Chicken, no, low button, that's all. Then you re, even if you are not getting it, continue shaping it till you get the same equal right for them, equal neck. Because I do the same thing too. I keep shaping sometimes. So you come to this back pattern, at the zipper area. You remember we took inward 1/2 inch and we connected it down to the hip line, then up to the chest line. Now we need to cut this part where we went inward by 1/2 inch. You remember? And we connected it. So we have to cut it out. Why are we doing this for the back pattern or at the zipper area? So it won't be, you see some lights will be shooting out. It will not lay very well at the back if you don't do this anyway. So that's it. See you on my next.